Attitude Era before calling time on their tagging days in the year. One of them was Beaver Cleavage, a sitcom parody who was seemingly in an incestuous relationship with his own mother. The other was Chaz, a jock type who was accused of beating his girlfriend, too confusing.
How much bad luck do you have to get to have two of the worst gimmicks WWE has seen?
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
Yo, what up? It's Ahmadjay back here in another video. Today we're going to be reacting to a video by What Culture Wrestling. The video is going to be on 10 tag teams where both wrestlers were Marty Jannetty. Holy damn, that's an insult, dude. Like, damn. It's an insult because, like, this guy essentially became like basically another kind of description for when wrestlers kind of like don't amount to their full potential, basically, and get left behind. So some sort of thing like that. Basically, it's basically the wrestler that plays second fiddle. But when both of the wrestlers play second fiddle, that doesn't clash good, bro. Jesus Christ. But hey, let's see who became this Marty Jannetty of all of them. That's that's my take on it. Maybe they always end up explaining it in the videos. If you know What Culture Wrestling, they always end up explaining it. But let's just get into it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy wrestling, and because I'll be doing reactions on it every day or every other day.
The term Marty Jannetty is applied when a tag team splits up and one wrestler does significantly better than the other. It has its roots in the break.
Oh, okay. Sorta in the sense. Well, almost in a sense. So I guess, yeah. So when a tag team splits, one does better and one kind of gets left floundering. Okay, so I was almost close.
Of the Rockers, and you know how that went. But this list is all about tag teams who went their separate ways, but both just couldn't, for whatever reason, find success on their own. I'm Gareth, you're watching What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 tag teams where both wrestlers were Marty Jannetty. Number 10, the Primetime Players. Titus O'Neil and Darren Young were both contestants on the 5th season of the game show version of NXT. After a brief feud, they joined forces to take the main roster by storm. Well, that was the plan anyway. The Primetime Players had solid chemistry, and their millions of dollars catchphrase found an audience. But WWE clearly thought that the real money was in Young and O'Neil as enemies rather than friends, so they were booked to break up in 2014. What followed was one of the feuds of all time. Nope, that is not a typo. It was just there. O'Neil and Young's beef was so forgettable that when they got back together a year later, most people didn't even realize they'd split. That is awkward.
That's crazy. Bro, honestly, I believe they shouldn't even split these these fools up, because they were like a good, well-established tag team. If you can just like stay like with a tag team together, I believe they will probably still be in WWE today as like a good tag team that's been around for years. You just know, like the New Day, basically. But like, good God, bro, WWE just like needs to stop splitting up tag teams, bro. Like, I can get splitting up factions or whatever, like the Judgment Day and shit, but like tag teams, come on, bruh.
This second run yielded a tag team title reign, but little else. They broke up again in 2016, but this storyline was abruptly ended when Young was released the following year. Young has found some success on the indies under the name Fred Rosser, while O'Neil remains an ambassador for WWE. Still, nobody would be in a rush to call their singles runs anything other than bang average, sadly. Right, before we go any further, quick question for you. Which tag team breakup disappointed you the most? Was it the Primetime Players or someone else? Let me know in the comments down below. Number 9, the Godwins. At Bad Blood 1997, the same night that Hell in a Cell and Kane both debuted, the tag team championships were won by 2 pig farmers. Yep, they were the Godwins, Henry Godwin and Phineas Godwin, played by Mark Canterbury and Dennis Knight, respectively. This was actually their second tag title run, as they had been a staple of the division for years. Unfortunately, the times were a-changing, and there wouldn't be much room for the hog-loving duo going forward. After a brief run as Southern Justice alongside Jeff Jarrett, Canterbury suffered a neck injury that would eventually lead to him stepping away from the ring altogether. WWE needed something for his partner to do, so they turned him to the dark side. Knight was repackaged as Midian, a low-level...
Oh, okay. So this is where Midian comes from. This kind of gets me kind of like knowing where people come from now. Yeah, because I didn't know, have a clue that he was part of like a whole tag team. Yeah, I like learning new knowledge in WWE videos. Makes my knowledge extensive. You know, trying to compare shit with like other people in other videos. I could probably look back on this team when I'm comparing it to some other people from nowadays, probably.
Underling in the Ministry of Darkness. There are two highlights of this
Naked
run.
Midian.
One was he won the European Championship after he found the belt in Shane McMahon's bag. The other was his naked Midian phase,
Jesus
which,
Christ.
yeah, is exactly what you think it is. For various reasons, only some of which pertain to being naked. Neither Canterbury nor Knight were destined for superstardom. Number 8, the Headbangers. Who did the Godwins beat at Bad Blood to win those tag belts? A pair of kilt-wearing heavy metal lovers, that's who. 1997 was a very odd year for tag teams. Charles Warrington and Glenn Ruth, better known as Mosh and Thrasher respectively, honed their famous gimmick in...
I'm not gonna lie, when they came back in 2016, I didn't even know who these fools were, bro. Like I said, I didn't have like an extensive amount of like knowledge that I do right now about like wrestling, but I did not know who these fools were. It was a time before my time, 1997. You know, they were in 1997. I was born in 2000, so yeah, I would have to like do research.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling. They were together for an astonishingly long time, appearing throughout the Attitude Era before calling time on their tagging days in the year 2000. Thrasher made absolutely zero impression following the split. He held the Hardcore Championship for about a minute at WrestleMania 2000 before being unceremoniously let go later that year. As for Mosh, well, his post-Headbangers career is fascinating. Warrington adopted two infamous gimmicks in between stints in the kilt. One of them was Beaver Cleavage, a sitcom parody who was seemingly in an incestuous relationship with his own mother. The other was Chaz, a jock type who was accused of beating his girlfriend, who confusing...
Oh my God. How much bad luck do you have to get to have two of the worst gimmicks that like WWE has seen? You get a woman beating gimmick, and then you get a mother weird sexual relationship. Ugh, dude, creative was so terrible around this time. This guy was just unlucky. You should have just stayed in the tag team.
Lee was played by Mariana Comlos, the same woman who played Mrs. Cleavage. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that alone. Number 7, the perfect event. In the dying days of WCW, a number of young, striking performers were thrown into tag teams in a desperate attempt to make some magic. Two of them were Shawn Stasiak and Chuck Palumbo. The duo were 3-time WCW Tag Team Champions in the year 2000, which is like being promoted to captain of the Titanic. They split in early 2001, but any future plans for the pair were scrapped when WWE swooped in and bought the anemic promotion. Vince McMahon liked the look of these strapping lads, shocking, I know, so decided to give them both a chance. He quickly regretted this decision. After the conclusion of the Invasion storyline, Stasiak spent some...
I'm not gonna lie, I faintly remember Chuck Palumbo, but like it was just like a fading ass memory of Chuck Palumbo though.
Time in developmental before slotting into the hardcore division. He was then granted his release in September 2002. As for Palumbo, he enjoyed a run as part of another tag team, Billy and Chuck. This polarizing act landed him another 2 tag title reigns, but once he split from his lover/not lover, he plummeted down the card. He had 2 stints in WWE in which he achieved almost, exactly nothing. Number 6, La Resistance. When France refused to back the USA's involvement in Iraq, Vince McMahon decided he was going to punish them by creating a tag team made up of 2 Canadians and pushing them. Sure. This was La Resistance, initially comprising Sylvain Grenier and talented teenager Rene Dupree. They were given the Rockets almost straight away, winning the tag belts less than 2 months after their debut. This made the 19-year-old Dupree the youngest champion in WWE history at the time. However, people clearly cared less about the French than McMahon had anticipated. The team in its original form only lasted a year when Dupree was drafted to a different brand. He should have...
That's actually fucking crazy. Just because like people weren't like receiving, well, they didn't care about the French that they get fucking tossed to the side, bro. Like, man, I swear Vince McMahon at the time just always have some dumbass fucking things going on in his mind.
Gone on to be a massive star, but suffered as a result of the rise of John Cena. He hung around until 2007, before the Chris Benoit tragedy inspired him to walk away. Grenier teamed up with Rob Conway to keep the La Resistance name alive. They won 3 more tag titles, but achieved nothing of note on their own. And by the end of 2007, all 3 men members of the team were gone. Okay, before you go any further, my friend, hit that subscribe button down below, and you're gonna get even more of these fantastic What Culture Wrestling videos in your life. Do it. Number 5, the Nasty Boys. Brian Knobs and Jerry Sags formed one of the most most popular tag teams of the 1990s. Across WCW and WWE, the Nasty Boys' distinctive look, hard-hitting style, and armpit-based antics won them legions of fans. It also probably helped that Knobbs was best mates with Hulk Hogan. After Sags decided to step back from wrestling in the late 90s, Knobbs decided to go it alone. He returned to WCW in 1999. He became a 3-time hardcore champion, but ultimately left the company after just 1 year on the roster. Knobbs plugged away on the indies for years, cashing in on his 90s pomp. He actually reformed the Nasty Boys with Sags in WWE in 2007, when they beat Dave Taylor and Drew McIntyre, yes, that Drew McIntyre, on an episode of SmackDown. Now, Sags barely made an effort to sustain a singles career, while his blonde buddy only ever got as far as a nostalgia act, really. Turns out 2 nasties are always better than 1. Who knew? Number 4, Enzo.
Damn, bro. Man, I feel like I would just like try to like, you know, make a name for myself. I guess that's what he essentially tried to do, but like it really fucking sucks that he couldn't like do anything past the Nasty Boys gimmick. I mean, I guess that's like a damn, you know, trade-off of you know, becoming a tag team and then becoming like a popular gimmick and then you can't get over it. So I guess that is like essentially how Marty Jannetty was living.
Enzo and Cass. The downfall of Enzo Amore and Big Cass in WWE needs to be studied. How did one of the most successful acts in NXT flop so spectacularly on the main roster? To the point where both men got fired 2 years after they'd been called up. The classic little and large pairing split up in truly unspectacular fashion. Cass turned heel on Enzo, but instead of fighting his former...
Yeah, this was a case where I really wish they didn't even win the championships at least one time, bro. Maybe there's hope for them. Maybe there's hope for them as soon as they return. I don't know if they were pairing. I don't know. Maybe we'll see Enzo's at the time of this recording. Maybe we'll see his little vignette probably like 2 weeks or are we even a week from now? Because we already seen Big Cass's vignette. We know he's returning. Maybe they'll come back with like a bang and win the tag team championships. But during this run, I'm really surprised they didn't win the championship one time. Or even the NXT championships one time. They had great matches in NXT. But like them splitting them up at this time was just stupid, bro. But Vince McMahon probably saw Big Cass and just probably exploded everywhere. Whoa, he's big.
My friend, he feuded with The Big Show instead. Guess WWE didn't believe that someone so small could get over on their own. Cass took some time out with injury and was then given the honor of having one of Daniel Bryan's first feuds after his return to the ring. He then got released after he went off script and attacked a little person dressed as Bryan during a segment on SmackDown. As for Enzo, oh boy, his career was derailed by numerous backstage scandals. While Cass found a home for himself in AEW as Big Bill, his ex-partner has not been quite as successful in the wrestling sphere in the time since his WWE exit. However, as of recording, the plan appears to be to try and bring them back to WWE together. We'll have to wait and see about all that though, eh? Number 3, Too Cool. Too Cool, a name that seems to apply to both their tag team and their stable with Rikishi, became insanely popular through their stupid costumes, endearing goofiness, and infectious dance moves. They were part of some of the greatest moments of WWE's most vaunted era, including a Royal Rumble dance break and an epic 10-man Raw main event. The pair spent several stints apart, but failed to make much of an impact with any of them. Scotty enjoyed a spell with the Light Heavyweight Championship in 2000, but that would be the only singles title either man would win. These pipsqueaks were never going to be main eventers in the land of the giants, but it's a shame that WWE couldn't find anything else for them to do. They gave their best years to the company and made them a lot of money in the process, but it was clear that they were only interested when they came as a package deal.
Didn't they only did they even get they didn't even get a tag team run? That's fucked up. They were like a good popular team during like the 2000s. I only really kind of like knew about them when I was a kid, when they came around, you know, as like a nostalgic act around like the 2012s when they came back for Raw 1000 and probably before, but sheesh.
To Demolition. WWE's answer to the Road Warriors was Demolition. As their theme song told you, Axe, aka Bill Eadie, and Smash, or Barry Darsow, brought pain and destruction wherever they went. And were the shining lights of a golden age of tag team wrestling. Axe's suspected heart issues that were actually caused by a bad reaction to shellfish were what led to Crush joining the team as a backup. After he left WWE in 1991, Eadie flip-flopped between Axe and his old gimmick of the masked superstar on the indies. But his days as a single star were well behind him. Smash, on the other hand, was about to be very busy. From Mr. Hole-in-One to the Blacktop Bully to the Repo Man, he tried every weird gimmick under the sun. But alas, none of them would stick. The work Axe and Smash did together more than made up for their failings as solo competitors.
Hey, you know what? I do give him like enthusiasm for at least trying, because some people would have probably just gave up and just like left the company, or just go pursue a normalized life. But he gave it his all and tried a lot of gimmicks. But those gimmicks were fucking terrible, because around that time, the '90s were just tossing out anything out the trash can.
And at least we got that time Repo Man stole Randy Savage's hat. Great stuff. And number 1, the New Age Outlaws. With a strong catchphrase, a bold look, and more chew than you could ever ask for, the New Age Outlaws were built for the late 1990s. Road Dogg Jesse James and badass Billy Gunn went from zeros to heroes when they joined forces, and they never looked back. They did sometimes try to be singles wrestlers, which
It did
never
not
ended
work.
well. Despite a handful of intercontinental and hardcore title reigns between them, Dogg and Gunn just weren't as good on their own. Case in point, Billy Gunn's disastrous turn as King of the Ring. After winning one of the most boring tournaments in history, Gunn was made to...
I just talked about this in like the King of the Ring video, and this being like not celebrated, and them not like having like some sort of like traditional like celebration for him is such a mockery. That's like, it was like, what's the point of having the tournament if you're not gonna have like a celebration or even take this shit serious? And yeah, like them splitting up through all that time, it always resulted in like Billy Gunn becoming like part of a team, or some, like some manager of a team like he does in AEW.
look a complete fool by The Rock during their subsequent feud. His stock plummeted
My
and he was
name's
never
Billy
taken
Gunn.
seriously again. As for the Dog, he knew his limits and rarely spent any time out of the group. Whether it was with K-Quick, Conan, or his best pal Kip James, he made sure he always had an entourage. They're both incredibly famous and successful wrestlers, but when you think about what the Outlaws accomplished on their own, it paints a very...
Yeah, I kind of agree with the Outlaws, because alone they weren't kind of it. I mean, at least Jesse James kind of knew that. But yeah, I do give respect to that other wrestler in Demolition for trying a lot of gimmicks, because yeah, that's the only thing you could do. At the end of the day, you just be like, at least I tried. But yeah, a lot of these wrestlers were a lot like Marty Jannetty, and that's unfortunate. And only people that I see getting another chance on here, but because like half of them are like older and like, passed away, rest in peace to them, are Enzo and Cass. Hopefully they'll do right by them, and hopefully Enzo will stop being an asshat and backstage and thinking he's full of himself. I mean, well, stuff comes with like a full reassurance and getting older, hopefully. And yeah, hopefully he gets a good push, and hopefully they get a good push and become like multiple tag team champions. That's what my hope. I was such a fan of them. I'm sorry. Yeah, I like when Enzo talked. I like the watching them wrestle. They were entertaining. But let me know who on this list that you think might deserve to be here. I definitely think the New Age Outlaws deserve to be here. But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Go take a look at the original video in the description. I'll catch you guys in the next video. And we are on the road to 850.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?